Welcome to set 9 of Teamfight Tactics, Runeterra Reforged. And today we're bringing you a video all about the top 5 comps to play recommended from our team of Challenger experts. Don't forget to jump onto our website where you can see all the best comps in more detail along with which legends to pick, as well as in-depth video guides for the best comps of each patch. Just click the link in the description and don't miss out. The first comp of our top 5 today is Guns Out. This comp is all about the Gunner trait with an insanely strong backline obliterating enemy boards. Most of your damage will come from your main carry Zeri, who will be backed up by your secondary damage carry Urgot and main tank frontliner Sejuani. You'll also be activating the Piltover trait to add the T-Hex to the party and utilising the Zorn trait bonus for those juicy chem mods. Your full comp should consist of Zeri, Jace, Sejuani, Urgot, Heimerdinger, Senna, Echo and Jinx. This is a default leveling comp that wants you to save up gold until you hit level 7 to find some copies of your core 4 cost units. If you do manage to find an early copy of Senna at the same time as bringing in the big guns, you'll struggle not to take that first place. Your main focus when playing this comp is to get those main items ready for Zeri as soon as you can, and she'll be the most threatening with Infinity Edge, Rageblade and Lust Whisper. You'll also want to load up Sejuani with anything defensive in the front line with items like Gargle, Stoneplate, Warmog's Armor and Redemption. After that, try to get a Bloodthirster on Urgot for some damage and sustain alongside a Titan's Resolve to get him pumping out even more damage the longer the fight goes on. If you manage to find a Gunner Augment, you'll be able to activate Gunner 6 in this comp, which will ultimately prove just how strong this comp can be when played perfectly. Although other augments like Dueling Gunners are basically made for a comp like this one, as well as any form of teaming up to increase your main carry's attack speed with multiple Zeke's Heralds. Comp number 2 is called Furious Bite, and yes, you guessed it, Rek'Sai is one of the main carries in this comp. She'll be alongside Kai'Sa and a stacked team full of bruisers in the front line. You'll use secondary traits like Void to get Void Remora helping out your front line, and Freljord will provide some extra utility. Your finished comp should consist of Rek'Sai, Kai'Sa, Sejuani, Lissandra, Sion, Kalista, Vi and Cho'Gath. This is a slow roll comp that wants you to hit level 7 at around the end of stage 3 so that you can focus on rolling to find as many copies of Rek'Sai as possible to ideally 3-star her. In terms of your items, Rek'Sai wants 2 Titan's Resolves and a Bloodthirster, with the ramping damage and sustain allowing her to fight and bite forever. Kai'Sa will do best with Archangels to get that dashing ability up nice and often, and also a Rageblade to increase her damage overall. After that, you can basically send anything defensive to your main tank in the front line, which is Sejuani. A Gargoyle's Stoneplate and a Warmog's Armor will do the trick perfectly. For augments, your biggest priority will be to secure a Bruiser augment to activate 6 Bruisers and achieve the highest ceiling of this comp, by turning Lissandra into a Bruiser as well. The sheer amount of durability that most of your board will gain from this trait alone is enough to make your enemies tilt off the face of the earth. Apart from that, Titanic Strength or Stable Evolution are simply no-brainers too, as either of these will boost your carry's damage by a ton. Moving on to comp number 3, which is called Juggernauts for a very good reason, because you'll play a full Juggernaut team with Garen as your main attack speed carry. In true RP fashion, you'll also want to activate the Demacia trait to make this comp even stronger and tankier at the same time. You'll also use secondary traits like Strategist and Multicaster for extra utility and ability usage. Your full comp alongside Garen will be Jarvan, Nasus, Warwick, Darius, Sona and Teemo. This slow roll comp is all about finding as many copies of Garen to start him up as soon as possible. So try to win streak and hit level 7 at around the start of stage 3 so you can get this well underway. You'll also want to get as many sword item components as possible. For the Zeke's Heralds you'll need to make this comp absolutely pop. Samira can be a great early item holder for Garen, so try to prioritize getting those items early for when you transition. Garen's best items will be a Bloodthirster and Rageblade, and due to the Demacian trait, you'll only want 2 items as the 3 trait bonus will give you a random Radiant item for the next combat. After Garen, you'll want to find a couple of Zeke's Heralds to have on your frontline units alongside him, and these will boost him up even further and make him even more of a raid boss. You can also send anything defensive like Protector's Vow, Warmogs or Sunfire Cape to Jarvan to help him soak up some of the damage in the front line. For augments, a Juggernaut Heart, Crest or Crown are obviously great choices. Adrenaline Rush will turn Garen into the absolute nightmare for your enemies, or any form of team up will help him get his initial attack speed boost by giving you a couple of Zeke's Heralds too. The name of comp number 4 is Deadeye, which is all about freezing the battlefield with your Freljord units whilst your Aphelios devastates the rest of the board as your main carry in the backline. You're going to use a variety of traits in this comp, benefiting from utility, mana, durability and of course the Deadeye bonus range and max health shred too. The full comp will consist of Aphelios, Sejuani, Sion, Shen, Lissandra, Taric, Ashe and Soraka. This is a default leveling comp, which means you want to save up gold by win streaking or lose streaking until you hit level 7 to find some copies of your core 4-cost units, which are Aphelios and Sejuani. You'll definitely want to focus on itemizing your main carry Aphelios first, with Infinity Edge, Rageblade and Giant Slayer being his optimal options. After that, focus on slamming defensive items onto your core frontliner Sejuani, with Gargoyle's Stoneplate, Warmog's Armor and Protector's Vow being her best in slots here. If you find yourself with any leftover items, feel free to bolster your other frontliners with extra defensive choices. All AP items can go to Lissandra, and any other leftover options can go for Scion. If you manage to find a Deadeye augment, then you'll have a much better chance of unleashing this comp's potential. A Freljord Heart or Soul will also activate the highest ceiling of that trait, and you'll be stunning the entire enemy team, whilst applying true damage and shredding their defensive resistances. Plus, since you invest so heavily in Freljord, the Glacial Breeze augment will fit in just perfectly. Finally, we have comp number 5, and this one's called Slay All Day. This one uses a full Slayer team in which you'll use an emblem to turn Katarina into a Slayer too and make her your main carry. So if you do find that augment early enough, you'll know that it's written in the stars that you'll take home that first place. Katarina, Zed, Gwen, Aatrox, Darius, Kled and Kayle will form your full and finished comp. This lineup uses a combination of Rogue, Noxus and Juggernaut trait units to pack out the front line and enable your Katarina to do what she does best. Zed will be your secondary carry in this comp, and it's basically all about finding enough copies of these carries to get the job done. This one is another slow roll comp, which means you want to roll above 50 gold to try and 3-star as many important units as possible. Try to hit level 7 at around the start of stage 3 before you start rolling and get this comp online. Your most important unit this game though is your Katarina, who you'll aim to turn into a Slayer unit into the mid game with that emblem. For her damage items, focus on Hand of Justice and Jeweled Gauntlet. After that, you want to start gearing up your Zed as your secondary carry unit, and he'll do best with a Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge and another Hand of Justice. For augments, any Slayer Heart, Crest or Crown are going to be instant pickups, as getting that Slayer emblem onto Katarina is your highest priority of making this comp tick. It is crucial you get this augment if you do want to play this comp, so make sure you have at least 3 Slayers active before the augment selection round to increase your chances of finding that emblem. Other augments that are also good choices are Slayer's Resolves and Vampiric Blades. That's going to wrap up our top 5 comps you have to play from our Challenger experts. If you did find this video helpful, make sure to subscribe to our channel and let's climb together in set 9. Good luck.